Hiya. Hello. So I am coming to you for episode 6 of the Telling Yarns podcast. My name's Beth and I am the dyer behind Telling Yarns. I'm based in Bedfordshire, currently building a house on my family farm and renting nearby. So I come to you from our barn that we're in at the moment. I am busy at the moment, dyeing, quite literally at the moment, I've got some in the pot, dyeing the colourways for our 12 Days of Christmas Advent, so that's very exciting. They're all based on The Goblet of Fire, the illustrated book by Jim Kay. So I've done 4 colourways, which I wish I could show you, but I can't. I have 4 going on right now because the design process I try and just dye a couple of skeins, a couple of minis to start with to work out the exact colour, make notes on everything I've done, and then I can dye all of them for all of the advents. So we've got a few spaces left, I think 3 left on the Time Trade shawl, which is this shawl here. Then we've got a number of spaces left on the Sprocket socks, which I'll show you in a second, and quite a few left on the fade shawl. So yeah, I will probably dip in and out about those over the next few minutes while I show you all the other things I've been doing. So I think we'll start super quickly at the beginning, just at the top, just to say that I have ordered in some mohair. I've not dyed on mohair before. I tend to dye on merino, all kind of variants of merino, plus, all different blends, plus some BFL, which is blue-faced Leicester, a British type of sheep, the softest British sheep's wool. But I've not dyed on mohair before. So I've got some 20 gram minis, which is what I'm holding here, which I'm going to be dyeing up, and I'm actually going to be selling these as singles. I don't normally do minis as singles, but the mohair is quite a bit more expensive, and I think it's one of those things you could add in just as like the colour work on a yoke sweater, a Fair Isle sweater. So then if you can just get the 20 grams, it makes it a lot more affordable. So you'll see those popping up, no doubt, on my Instagram and then on the website once they're perfected. So that's exciting. Those are kid silk, so it's kid mohair, 72% kid mohair and 28% silk. Really silky and soft and fluffy. I've also got in 100 gram skeins. This is a lace weight, so it can be held with other things, for things like the love note and things like that. But I've also got in a fingering weight of the Suri alpaca, the fluff, which is the same fluffiness, but it's, if you find that mohair is a bit itchy, everybody reports that it doesn't itch. So I'll also be dyeing those up. They're a little bit more affordable than the mohair as well, so it's nice to have a combination of them. New things going on at the moment. I've shown you the Hogwarts Series 3 fade, which is the Prisoner of Azkaban. This is the colourways The Night Bus, Hogwarts Grounds, Expecto Patronum, Parvati and the Boggart, and Marauder's Map. And I've got those at the moment. I've actually done them on Blue-Faced Leicester, a Blue-Faced Leicester blend. It is 80% Blue-Faced Leicester and 20% nylon. So absolutely perfect for socks, because Blue-Faced Leicester is more resilient than merino, plus you've got the nylon in there, so these are going to last forever, these socks. Then I've also got it on the bases I normally do minis on, which is so this is Fauna sock, the Blue-Faced Leicester Fauna sock. Then we've got Confetti sock, which is our merino nylon blend. Then, so that's 75% merino, superwash merino, 25% nylon. And then finally we do a sparkle based gold leaf sock, and that is, I'm just checking the blend, 75% superwash merino, 20% nylon, and then 5% gold stellina, so you get the sparkle in there. And I am currently knitting in my bag from Botanical Yarn. I showed on Instagram the other day this handle because I'm totally in love. I have only sons and not daughters, and my nieces are always wearing things like this, and I love it. So I have to purchase these things for myself instead, as boys aren't always so keen on that stuff. So I'm knitting the Sprocket socks. These are by Megan Nodecker at Pip and Pin, a Canadian-based designer. She's one of my favourites. You will have heard me mention her before if you've watched any of the podcasts or seen me on any Instagram lives or anything like that. And her Sprocket socks are, I agreed with her, she very kindly is sending me 10 of the patterns, all printed with a digital download as well. And she's let me use her pattern in our smallest advent. And that's for these Sprocket socks, which I've started in the Prisoner of Azkaban fade series. It is a really simple slip stitch pattern, so where the colours change here, you're not doing colour work in the traditional way where you've got two different yarns going round. You're doing mosaic knitting, which is where you slip the colour from the row before. You slip one stitch and then you knit in your new colour, so you're only in that one colour, and then you switch on when you're doing it in other bits. So that gives you the pattern, the colourwork pattern, without actually having to do the colour work. So I'm really enjoying these. It's Wednesday and I cast these on Sunday evening, and I've already done that much, so I don't think they're going to take too long. So our advent for that, you only actually need 5 20-gram skeins for this, but the advent comes with 12 20-gram mini skeins, so you could make them with all 12, or you could just choose 5, or you can make a couple of pairs, whatever you like anyway. So that's one of my knits that I'm doing at the moment, and I'm really enjoying those. They're really good fun. I wasn't too sure about the tiny circular needle to start with and the little shorty needles, but now I've got the hang of it. I've actually started knitting continental for doing these, and then I'm having no issues whatsoever, and they're going along really quickly. So that's those. I'll just tuck them so they're so small. I'm worried that the needles are going to slip, like the stitches are going to slip off the tiny needles. So I just need to tuck them away. So that's that. The other thing I'm knitting on is so I showed you the Time Trades shawl. This is our medium advent, and that's by Boyland Knitworks, Caitlin Hunter, that's at Boyland Knitworks. And then our largest, but I originally, I think I termed it as the hardest, and it's not at all. I'm knitting all 3 of them. It's the largest, definitely, because the pattern uses 600-gram skeins of our Meadow Merino singles, so it's definitely the largest, definitely, but it's not the hardest by any means. I think they're all very similar in level of ability. People are always put off by brioche, and the brioche was such a joy. It was not at all difficult. It wasn't a chore. Andrea Mowry from Drea Renee Knits, who, again, we've got permission to do all of these patterns for our advents, so I've actually spoken to the designers or their teams, and we're buying the patterns from them. Proper printed patterns, really nice. Some of them just arrived from the US yesterday actually, and they've got download codes, so you can download the PDF in case you want to work, off a tablet or something, or if you want to have them on Ravelry. So I've annoyingly stopped this mid-row because the kids always come over and need something when I'm in the middle of a row, and then I put it down, and I try to go back and finish the row normally, and I haven't. I've obviously been distracted by my Sprocket socks. So this is my What the Fade. I'm using the Chamber of Secrets colourways. So there's 6 of those, which works perfectly. It's almost like I planned it. You've got a green fade, which is Slytherin's Air at the top here. and then that fades into Ford Anglia Adventure, which has, I don't know whether the colour's picking it up properly because it's a bit dull here today because we're going into autumn, but it picks up a kind of almost like a duck eggy, from the more greeny chartreuse it goes to more of a bluey, turquoisey, I'm trying to think of the right word, there's a particular colour, there's a bit of it there, hopefully you can see the bluey colours, and then down to a much lighter, which is Dawn Escape. And all of it, what I really love about these colourways is they have pops all through them of like tiny pops of magenta, or orange, because these are Weasley colourways, so they always have to have a little pop of orange. Got a pickle there. And then on the other side, it is, this is going to be harder to show. I wonder if I can, okay. Ta-da! Just fold it through. Maybe if I just do that. So this side is, it starts off with the Burrow down here, which is the lightest, is the base colourway of the whole series. Then it goes on, fades into Ginny, which is this really, I love this colour. It's real corally, soft pinks. It's got tiny hints of lavender, and then it goes into Arthur, which is the brown up the top here. And then I've just finished the brioche, which, like, honestly, it took me probably 3 weeks to do all of that, probably. And it was really easy. It's a basic stitch pattern that you follow the pattern for maybe the first 2 repeats or 3 repeats, and then you just get the flow of it, and you don't really need to pay attention besides marking down which row you're on. And what I've done for the advent for this one is actually made up, I've written notes all over mine, but made up a little card where you can tick off what you've done as you go along. And then it goes into what Andrea Mary calls Garter Town, but I think it probably doesn't sound as good in my British accent as it would in her American accent. So you go, it's just Garter then. So I've done the Arthur section, then it's a chunk of fade into the Ginny, then a Ginny section, chunk of fade into the Burrow, and it goes all the way through all 6 colourways, and then you do an I-cord cast off, and it's got an I-cord edging. Hopefully you can see that, which I had never done before. Andrea Mary did videos for this because she did it as a mystery fade along at the beginning when she first released it, and I've saved down the videos as a playlist on this YouTube channel, so you can watch the video literally from choosing your colours from the colourways, because you get 12 colourways, not 6, in the advent. I've suggested on the card that comes with it a couple of combinations which definitely work, but of course you can mix it up as much as you want and change that all and do it however you want. So you can also see Andrea's video where she tells you which ones she shows you maybe 3 or 4 different colour combinations of her yarns and shows you which she would make colour A through to F. So you can get a bit of a guide from that, and then you can see based on hers which the most dominant colours are, like the colour, I think it's colour A is the most dominant, because colour A on hers is the yellow, so it shows through the most. Yeah, so that is that, and that's in another bag from Botanical Yarn. I'm a bit obsessed with these bags. I can just hear my son calling me. Give me 2 seconds. 2 seconds. Sorry about that. We're on the last week of the summer holidays here in the UK, and the kids go back to school on Monday for the first time since lockdown in March, so that's going to be fairly interesting. It's going to be really nice, I think, for them to go back, and really nice for us to have them doing something that's not with us, something new to talk about. Yeah, so those are my knitting projects. I'm also doing, oh, do you know what I didn't get out? My Miss Serenity. Sorry, I meant to get this out, and I completely forgot. So I've also, you saw my Messerina tee on the last podcast. I showed it on a hanger, which was much more sensible, on an Instagram live recently. So I've put this one a little bit on the back burner so I can carry on with the advents, because I want everybody else to be able to see what they look like in our yarn. But I'm definitely going to have this done by the end of October, because I'm going to be on the Yorkshire Yarn Fest, the virtual Yorkshire Yarn Fest, and I want to wear it for that. So I've done quite a bit more since I showed you last, and I'm really happy with it now. I know I mentioned before I was having a bit of a needle blip, but I think it's come together really well. It's got a really nice eyelet pattern down the bottom. So it's like quick and simple now, because I've done the colour work and the lace and the cable, but I've still got this pattern, which I think stops it from being too just stocking stitch kind of thing, doesn't it, for the rest of it. It's supposed to be cropped sleeve and a cropped bottom, but I think I've done a few crops recently and I wear them, but they don't go with everything, and in the winter, like, I get quite cold and I'm going to want my tummy covered up. Or not that I have my tummy out, but I'm not going to want my under top showing, I don't think. So I'm probably going to knit this full length. I really like the crop sleeves on the pattern, so I might end up leaving those, although it would probably make more sense to have it long, but I think I'll probably just wear like a long sleeve t-shirt or something under it. So yeah, I'm really pleased with that. But like I say, it's on the back burner while I do the Sprocket socks and finish off my What the Fade. So yeah, those are all the things I've been busy on. This was knitted in the Night Bus and Hogwarts Grounds on merino singles. The pattern calls for a merino linen blend, but I really love merino singles. I know a lot of people say they're not ideal for garments because they're like maybe not as hard wearing, and they're sort of ideal for shawls where you're just going to throw it around your neck, but you're not going to be rubbing your arms against the sides because it will pill. But I've got a little razor, like a wool razor, that you just run over the surface of it, so it takes off any of that pilling. And I just love, they're so soft, they're so silky and quite light as well. So I decided that I would just do it in that, because I'm about to do the May McCarty in merino singles anyway, so clearly it doesn't bother me, although I know lots of people prefer to do something with maybe like a nylon blend or a blue face Leicester, which I agree with if I was doing a jumper to be out and about, you know, walking and stuff in, but this is more of a you know, going to work type jumper. So yeah, I think that was everything. I've got quite a few new bases and kind of organised bases a bit better, because we switched yarn supplier in the summer, early summer, and so I've been finishing off using the yarn from the previous supplier, and now it's all just the new stuff from the new supplier. So I've gone through the bases on the website and updated everything to all be specific to the yarn that we get in now. I'm actually got in a couple of DK weight yarns, which I'm really excited about, because I know it's starting to get colder, and I know a lot of people like to knit something in you know, DK or Aran weight as we go through the winter. So I've got those in, and I will start dyeing those up I think once I finish dyeing the advent colours. So you'll see Hogwarts Series 3 colours going on in full skeins in the next probably 2 weeks, because the minis are already on there. As you can see, there's lots of those available. Then because I've got to focus on the advents for a couple of weeks and get everything done for those, because there's a lot of extras that go in. It's not just the yarn, it's you know, organising so that all the instructions are there for the pattern. I like to give my sort of hints on, I like to knit the pattern and give my hints on what I think are helpful, linking all the videos and making sure the Ravelry page is set up. There's extra little things to go in, little prizes and gifts and things. I've got some really nice wrapping that's sort of Harry Potter inspired, and they all come with little labels to show you which page of the Goblet of Fire the inspiration came from and tell you which day to open them on. So yeah, that is everything that I have been busy on recently. I hope you're all keeping well. I hope that you are getting some kind of normal routine going with the school term coming back in for, I think, most people now. I've seen all the kids in the US going off to school this week, because I know they're a bit ahead of us. So hopefully everybody's experiencing that normalcy coming back in. It's autumn, September here in the UK, which is just Sweaterville, and it's so exciting because all the things you spent the summer working on and planning and doing, you can actually put them on. So yeah, that is me. I hope you are keeping well, and I will catch you soon. All right, thank you.